Yeah, it was Jericho, and he used to do the whole spiel. The
the dirty, nasty, perverted, disgusting trash bag hoe slut.
Right, brutal body feeding trash bag hoe. Yeah, good.
It was like 2002, right?
Oh gosh, yeah, probably. Maybe even a little before. It was during the whole the McMahon-Helmsley era.
Yeah, it had to be like earlier than that.
Right.
Yeah.
That era went on for like a long, long, long time.
It looms larger in my memory than it probably was.
I would say that, yeah.
I really want like somebody to go back and count how many matches Triple H and The Rock had during that time, because I know it has to be over 20.
So we're not counting how many matches Steve Austin and The Rock had during that time.
Yeah, but I mean, like, during that, like, specific, storyline where they had DX brought in and all the McMahons was in every corner, and then Vince was getting divorced from Linda, it was just, like, it just dragged on, and it was, like, every week on SmackDown, because me and Jeff were talking about this the other night, it was funny, it was, like, they always announced Triple H versus Rock for WWF Championship, and I'd be like, oh my god, are you serious again?
As long as I don't have to relive Linda being in the wheelchair.
Oh my god, that was just for torture.
That was really bad.
Yeah.
As long as she doesn't have to come out there and talk ever again, I'm good.
Indeed.
Well, she's like not involved at all, right? She doesn't want to have anything to do with the company anymore, I guess.
Ever since she started running for a Senate seat, she's kind of distanced herself.
Right. But she should come back to it, because if she could maybe even get the wrestling fans on board, maybe she'd have a better shot.
That's true. I can't argue with that.
Because, she's Linda McMahon.
Right. I would vote for her if I lived in this state.
Right. Well, think about people always just say, Vince McMahon for president. Really, is Vince McMahon really that good of a guy who should be president? Probably not.
Not to many people.
But he's got some following.
Mm-hmm. Well,
if I could vote for Vince McMahon the character, that would be a yes. If I could vote for Vince McMahon the human being, that would be a no.
I mean, if he ran in like 1998 or something, like I think he would have got in.
Yeah.
I mean, wrestling was like everywhere. It was on MTV. It was everywhere. You couldn't escape it. Unlike now, where you really have to look for it.
Right. I miss those days.
Don't we all?
Remember when Heat was on MTV?
Oh, God.
Oh, yes. Before every single pay-per-view, I was watching Heat.
Of course.
It was so, like, weird because you remember they had WWE New York, and then they had, like, where TRL used to be? They would be in there talking about, this is what's going on, and then all of a sudden they pan to the match, and you'd be like, oh my god.
Do you remember?
So cool.
It was an episode of Sunday Night Heat where, like, Kane was stalking Edge and Christian.
Yes.
Showed up in places. They were, like, in the streets of New York, and he would show up in, like, phone booths and that.
I do. I totally do.
That was just hilarious.
And I remember that's what made me such a big fan of Stevie Richards, because he was always the main event of Sunday Night Heat every single time.
Absolutely. Right to censor. What an underrated faction.
I know. They were the best.
The
more people complained about that warning siren, the more I loved it.
Of course.
I mean, Right to Censor was, like, so fast. That's what I didn't understand, because I didn't watch wrestling for a week, which was, like, horrible then to me as a child. I used to, like, have fits if I missed something. And I missed it, and then I was like, oh, where's Right to Censor? And they were, like, not there. I'm like, wait.
Yeah, they did kind of disappear quickly.
Yeah.
That used to be the fun days, like, when you had to see the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now every other pay-per-view is a skippable one.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't want to know. I'll find out on Raw. I find out everything else on Raw now, so it's crazy.
Right, they show all the replays anyway. You don't really have to.
Oh my god, they're replay maniacs. It's
not to mention every title match, whether it's Intercontinental or World title, they always do a rematch on Raw the next night.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know what's going on with TNA right now. I just looked at the screen. Kurt Angle's yelling at me. I don't know why.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's right. Like, it's 9 o'clock. See, it's only 6 o'clock where I am. I'm on the West Coast.
And
right.
All wrestling gets, tape delayed. It's all, so I don't actually get wrestling until, 3 hours later than you guys do. So I'm usually on Twitter.
Yeah, Sloane, let me tell you, that freaked me out because I was in California for Bound for Glory, and the next night I was watching Raw in my hotel room like 3 hours after it was over. I'm like, wait a minute, this is just going live for me now.
Stuff is, I've been here because I'm an East Coaster, but I just moved here about 4 months ago, and I'm still not used to the time difference, and it pisses me off that I can't watch Raw live. Like, I'm on Twitter, and I'm, like, seeing, everybody's like, oh my god, that was crazy, or I didn't see that coming, or making their comments, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. It makes me so sad.
Yeah, I never understood when people in California would be like, spoilers, Stevie, spoilers. And then once I was actually out there, I was like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah. But yeah, live events here, they start at, like, we're getting LA is getting a Raw in February, and it starts at 4 o'clock.
But that was the other thing that freaked me out about Bound for Glory. I walked outside and the sun was still out. I'm like, wait a minute, it's not night and the pay-per-view is over. This doesn't make any sense.
Right, exactly. It's definitely trippy.
Yeah.
It's definitely hard to get used to, but
hey, on the upside, once you're done with that, got a whole night to do stuff.
Well, yeah, we went out for dinner after Bound for Glory. That was the other funny part. It's like, it's only 6:30. We can go get dinner now.
But see, I'm not like that. I want to end my night with wrestling. I want to revamp, think about everything that happened, and then just go to bed. That's the nice way to go to bed. I don't want to do anything else.
I can understand that.
Well, see, that's just because that's East Coast thinking, because that's all there is to do. You're in California now.
I know. Well, I have been able to experience a lot of indie wrestling out here that I didn't get at home, so.
I hope you go to every Pro Wrestling Guerrilla show, because I went to one a couple of months ago and it was fucking awesome.
My first PWG show is actually this Saturday.
Oh, you're going to the All-Star Weekend.
Yes, I'm going to night 2. I can't go to night 1 tomorrow, so I'm only going to night 2. But
I'm still jealous because Chris Hero is going to be there, and I'm super jealous that you're going to see him live.
Yeah. I've never seen him live, so.
I saw him at the IWA Ted Petty Invitational like 5 years ago, and that was before he'd even made it to the Ring of Honor main roster, and I was just so blown away.
Yeah.
He's like everywhere now. It's like, I'm just waiting for Shine Wrestling to announce him as the next participant for Shine 16. Like, he is every freaking where. It's like,
do not put it past him, Sierra. He will show up in cross-dress. He will do it.
Will do anything for a paycheck now. But it was like the day he was released, he was suddenly booked on 4 shows, like, people were just waiting, like, God, I can't wait till Chris Hero gets released, I can book him, make such a payday, so, good for him.
Well, they just, announced him versus AJ Styles, I believe it's for, let's not fuck this up, Sierra.
Championship Wrestling, I think so.
I think, let me check, but I was just like, wait, already? These two are fighting? That's what I was just like, wait.
Do you guys watch, Impact every week?
I tried. I miss a week here or there, but I always DVR it.
I just tune in for the knockouts, and if they're not doing anything, I don't care.
But this week is Final Resolution, where they're going to crown a new world champion.
Right. Well, because I try to watch it, I honestly do. I will have every intention to be like, okay, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to watch Impact. And usually about 15 minutes in, I'm like, I'm going to bang my head against a wall if I have this on longer. But the AJ Styles deal has been a huge story, and I've been following that pretty closely, and I think, that is a huge turning point for them. Even just the publicity, online of the internet fans being like, wow, AJ Styles is really not going to be in TNA. Who knows what they're going to do now?
And every day there's a new chapter in the saga. Like now, Wrestling Observer is claiming that he's signed, and his agent Bill Behrens is claiming, no, we haven't signed a deal. And they're going back and forth, and it's just fascinating from the outside looking in as whether or not he's actually with TNA or not.
Right, and that's the point. It gets people talking. I mean, nobody's really. I don't ever talk to anybody about TNA. Like, did you see what happened on TNA? No.
It's like,
why-
wait, they still exist?
That's why we have a show on this site called Impact Implosion, because we have two guys that always watch it and always care.
Yeah,
Really?
we decided to give it to them because the rest of us is like, no.
So if I ever really want to know what's going on, I can just listen to that.
Exactly. They cover it every single week.
It's
Nice.
Hero versus Styles for Smash Wrestling.
Oh, Smash Wrestling. Okay.
Yeah,
That's the one that Lance Storm was at, right? Recently?
mhm.
Yeah.
I think he took on Hero recently for that show.
Yeah. It was like 2 weekends ago or something.
hmm
It's just
That was-
strange.
Lance keeps coming out of retirement for one more match every couple of months.
Yeah, he's like the Terry Funk, but Canadian.
Yes, he is.
Little less charismatic.
See, everybody knocks Lance Storm for his charisma, but if you listen to his Figure 4 daily interviews that he does with Brian Alvarez every week, he is incredibly charismatic.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Do you remember the time they gave him that rap theme as his music and he came out dancing?
Yes.
Oh.
When Stone Cold said he had a large package.
Oh my god.
That was just strange. I just remember that Raw just being like, this is just embarrassing.
Nothing
that
is as
like
embarrassing
yes?
as Zema Ion on my television right now.
He's a little eccentric. Like, I didn't know he was that flamboyant. Yeah.
Okay.
He just went into a door that says conference room occupied.
With his hair, like, extremely spiked.
If that room is occupied by Zema Ion, I'll stay out of it. Thanks.
He's just a little out there.
And he can stop with the air horn every time he's DJing a match. Bah, 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 bah.
He
Well,
DJs
he's got
now?
the
Yeah, he DJs. Sierra, you haven't been watching? He DJs all of the bromance matches. When they come out, he stands there behind a turntable and hits the air horn button over and over again.
So it's like kind of like that time when WCW had a DJ for the Nitro Girls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Just a little bit off.
It is.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sloane, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Oh no, he won one of the briefcases last week, so
Right, Feast or Fired.
yeah. I think we know how that's gonna end.
I think Chavo's the one that's getting the Fired briefcase.
You think so?
I think so. Because
Okay.
he's already they've taped future episodes and he's not in them.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I think Chavo will be the one that's revealed tonight.
Okay. I will admit that was a good gimmick they did there with saying, okay, you got to wait till next week to see what the results are of these briefcases. I will admit that was pretty clever on their part.
Right. Even for a gimmick that everybody seems to hate, at least they're building up suspense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're building it to where you want to watch or you need to watch the next week's show. Although, of course, you could just read what happens.
Pretty much.
Well, that's the funny thing about Impact Wrestling spoilers is I read them and then I forget immediately. So when I watch the show, it's still fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm-mm.
I read them and I still don't understand anything that's going on. So
I've been to Impact like 6 times in the last 6 years and I still don't understand.
It's hilarious, like, when people send in the spoilers and they, like, type it as if they, like, they just don't know what they're typing, and then you go and read and you're like, he chased him here, but then decided that he didn't want to chase him anymore, and you're like,
yes,
what?
yes. I
Like,
know.
what am I reading?
Add in
Well-
their like psychoanalysis of it.